Happy to have you back this Thursday, the 16th day of July, print day for the Sagersville Independent. Get yours if you can, or as soon as you can. There's no if to it. You can find them, of course, on all the newsstands, as always, and in complete, full, free, still, high digital resolution on the internet. Simply follow the link on our social media pages. Our website, I haven't checked in the last hour, very close to be back up and running after a brief hiatus for the past several days that we have been hounding our provider, our designing company, to fix, and they've been working very hard. So, still working on that, I believe, or possibly have that remedied any time. With that said, a lot to talk about on tonight's program, and I've got some entertaining news for you this evening, and I'll probably have a little more of it to carry over tomorrow. But LBCP is in the house tonight. A few of you are going to know exactly who I'm talking about, and then the rest will know exactly whenever I have him on the screen with us in just a few moments. I've got a couple of snake stories to share with you. We've also got, of course, the latest from our governor, the latest battle between he and our attorney general in the state, the latest numbers for COVID-19 on the state and local level, and a lot more. We also have some indictments on tomorrow's program. I might be holding a portion of tonight's entertainment over for then as well. We'll wait and see how that turns out. I can tell you a couple of things before we go any further, just to let you know that average rates on mortgages, long-term mortgages, still falling like everything else to record lows again. In fact, the 30-year loan is now below 3%, and that's the first time in a half of a century that has happened. Freddie Mac also, as I read today, says that a 30-year home loan went down to about 2.98%. It was just about a half a percent above that last week, but nevertheless, it's significant because it's below 3%. And that's the lowest it's been since they started paying attention to it and keeping records of it, if you will. Back in 1971, a year ago, the rate was right at 3.8 or so, or a little bit more. A 15-year fixed mortgage rate down to 2.48% from just over 2.5% just last week. The father of Allison Lundergan Grimes has been sentenced. Jerry Lundergan, businessman from Central Kentucky and a big player in the Democratic Party and the election process, was convicted of making illegal campaign contributions to his daughter's campaign. And the judge in the case, District Judge Gregory Van Tatenhoff, says he should be jailed for a period of 21 months, alongside his his veteran political consultant at the time, Mr. Dale Emmons, who was also sentenced today to 3 years probation, 9 months of which will be served in a halfway house. Lundergan was fined $150,000. Emmons faces a fine of $50,000. They were both convicted last year of trying to hide about $200,000 or more than that in contributions to Allison Lundergan Grimes' campaign against Senator Mitch McConnell in 2014. She, of course, lost that election, and then following, her father was found guilty and convicted on all of the charges, I believe a total of 10 that were against him. Let's go ahead and talk COVID before we go to some entertaining, fun news for you this evening. Governor Beshear yesterday announced another day in the 400s, 477 new cases of COVID-19. That put us at 20,677 total cases, 10 more deaths as of yesterday. And for the last five out of the last 7 days, Kentucky has had numbers over 400. That's very significant because those numbers had been under 300 for most all of the month of June, and then for the 2 months prior to that, under 200 each day, sometimes in just the teens, if you will, not teens, but below 100. So that has been the pattern. Also, the positive rate, Kentuckians testing positive at 4.6%, which is significant as well, says the governor and medical health professionals. The governor also says in court documents that judges should uphold his executive actions as they relate to COVID-19. He says he and the state are in a life and death battle against the coronavirus, and he this week asked two judges at least, to declare that all of his executive orders and mandates have been within the law. Most importantly, or most recently, the one asking everyone to wear masks in public. However, it was also earlier today that the governor says that he had just learned that the Attorney General, Daniel Cameron of Kentucky, had filed papers with the Boone Circuit Court to do away with and negate all, not just one, but all of the COVID-19 rules and regulations that the governor had put in effect and, quote, prevent any future orders needed to respond to escalating cases, says the governor. The governor's saying that with no rules, there is no chance of getting kids back to school. We'll lose billions in our economy just for Kentucky. And he says, I hope everyone understands just how reckless it is. He says that the Attorney General's motions do much more than just doing away with the life-saving mask mandate, but would wipe away any and all legislation for the other 22 to 23 states which have enacted the same legislation, and that it would be a financial and deadly burden on Kentucky.
I don't see how we get our kids back in schools if they're going to go home or out afterwards, and there are absolutely zero rules that keep the virus from spreading. And we lose more people. No school, harmed economy, and more death. After being Attorney General and being involved with the governor in some disputes, it's something I never wanted. I don't want to go back and forth with my own AG, but I will fight every day for the lives of Kentuckians. And even if it creates drama that I don't want, even if it takes away time, and it does, I had half my office out today because of it, I'm going to do what it takes to protect the people of Kentucky. But folks, this is wrong. It is really, really wrong. Don't play politics with the lives of people. Don't play politics with the lives of people. The request that's made wants to eliminate every single ability to enforce any of the healthy at work requirements, any of them. No capacity limits anywhere. Fill up a stadium, full bar all the way out, people out in the streets. We know how deadly that can be, and it's just plain irresponsible.
Bashir said Cameron's moves would also do away with the expanded workers' compensation that would help those who have been infected and could not work during that time, and it would also do away with the copays and deductibles and cost sharing that has been enacted during the COVID pandemic. In today's numbers, again, another day, over 413 new cases of the coronavirus in Kentucky, putting us at 21,083 total cases. Today, another terribly high number of young people, including 13 children under the age of 5, 2 of them 2 months of age, out of those 413 cases. And 5 more deaths today brings Kentucky's total to 650. Locally, I spoke with Public Health Director Pete Shepard a few moments ago. No new cases to report in Magoffin County this evening. Other eastern Kentucky counties, though, are not that fortunate. Pike County today announced 9 more new cases. Now they have a total of 143 and counting. I think there was another new case or 2 or 5, possibly as many, in Morgan County. I'm still trying to get that exact number. In Florida, their death rate has surpassed all records that have been previously set. Florida's 132 deaths announced yesterday topped a record that they had set previously just days ago. That raises the state's 7-day average to 81 people per day dying of the coronavirus, and that's more than twice what it was just a couple of weeks ago. That makes them the second worst state in the nation, just behind Texas. Meanwhile, CVS today said it's going to join the likes of Walmart and Sam's Club, which both announced yesterday that they will require masks in all of their 5,000 stores, I believe it is. Walmart, Kroger, Kohl's, Sam's, Target, Best Buy, Starbucks, all making similar announcements that starting immediately or in the next few days, customers and their staff will all be required and mandated to wear masks inside their stores. Getting closer to some entertaining news. I've got 2 entertaining stories for you tonight. One on a much more serious note, but both to watch right after these messages.
in the middle of the night. We was playing country music, treating people right. When the amplifiers are cooled down, the guitar's put away. I put that Vic in the hammer lane, and this is what I'll say. Well, that road is long, and my eyes are wide. Playing country music, treating people right.
First, it was pennies, and now it's everything. Because of the pandemic, most banks haven't been able to order their weekly amount of coins for weeks. And without all of the fundraisers and activities going on, a lot of that change that would normally be in circulation isn't. So the Sayersville National Bank says now is a great time to help out and cash in. Bring your coins to either drive-through, or if you've got a lot, call ahead to give them to someone at the door and help your local businesses. And remember, you can pay all of your bills and practically do all of your banking on their mobile and online services, and all inside and lobby services are still available by appointment at Sayersville National Bank. Car accidents don't stop. Accidents at work don't stop. Disability and SSI cases don't stop. Your legal needs and concerns don't stop for the coronavirus, and neither does McFarland and Tinker. They are open, able to schedule appointments per CDC guidelines, and always available for telephone and video conferences. Please, be safe, be smart, stay home, and don't let your legal needs fall victim to the pandemic. Call McFarland and Tinker and let them take care of them for you. Oh, it's what a lot of you have been waiting for. They're back, but only for a limited time. Loaded potato wedges at your Sayersville least famous recipe. That's right, our famous hand-cut homemade potato wedges smothered in cheddar cheese, real crispy bacon, topped with either sour cream or ranch, your choice. And they're still only $2.49 with tax. Get them while you can at your Sayersville Lee's. Tire in Staffordsville is now a proud partner of Rough Country for all of your suspension and lift kit applications. And you can always go to conleytire.net to get the latest offers. Like right now, $100 when you buy a set of Mickey Thompsons, $100 on a set of Continentals, and many, many more summer deals, including $35 computer diagnostics. That's Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424. I've got a couple of snake stories to share with you tonight. Nothing that unusual for this time of year. Both, or at least a couple of them, hit kind of close to home for a couple of different reasons pertaining to who either got bit or ran over the other one. First, I'm glad to say that this snake, which is being held up by our friend, and I guess I should say extended family member, Charlie Allen, was not one that bit anyone, he or anyone else. It was the one that got ran over by his truck. Probably the first time, and then I would assume a few more times after backing up and going back over it. And then I think he proceeded to get a blunt object to make sure it was completely dead before he picked it up. That rattlesnake on Bear Branch, yesterday or just in the past day or so, measured 50 inches, 9 rattles, and 1 button. And I don't care, dead or alive, completely scary. That is a big one. Now, a couple of other snake stories just to kind of add to you. My dad had to spend the night in the emergency room the other night because of a snake bite. Thought a briar got him on his forearm. Started swelling, turning black. Turned out something. No, didn't even see it, but believed to be a snake. Got him and just grazed him with one fang, and the other one was just enough to break the skin. Don't know what kind of snake it was, but confirmed to be a snake and sent him to the ER. And while he was there, they told him that he was very fortunate because the previous 2 snake bites from the same day had some folks in some pretty serious condition. Be aware. Right now, let's see what McGoffin Farm Bureau says we have on tonight's community calendar. A couple of reminders tonight. One is that all McGoffin County schools have been trying to reach all of their students and parents to get information about the students and parents' plans for returning to school on September the 8th. If you haven't talked to someone from your respective school, please give them a call. The numbers are on your screen. Most of you probably know them by heart as well as most of us do. Nevertheless, if you can call them by the end of day tomorrow, they will be greatly appreciative of that information. Please call your respective school if you haven't talked to them about the plans for your students' return to school. And then the other reminder is a nightly one. Call me anytime you've got a calendar, announcement, birthday, anniversary, or otherwise. Nightly obituaries brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home include a reminder of services to be held tomorrow afternoon at 1 for 25-year-old Keisha Lene Joseph, the daughter of Daryl and Jamie Joseph of Sagersville. She passed away Monday and is also survived by her sister Bethany Leanne Joseph and sister Whitney Joseph, as well as a host of family and friends. Services again tomorrow at 1 at the Swampton United Baptist Church. Visitation continues this evening at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. 44-year-old Stephen Wayne Reed of Sagersville will be laid to rest Saturday morning at 11 after passing away this past Saturday. His services will be at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. He is the son of the late Wayne Douglas and Janie Lynn Coffey Reed, survived by his daughter Brianna Reed. Visitation is this evening. And we've also just been told of the passing of Irma Conley, the wife of Kenneth Conley. Irma passing away on today's date at the age of 69. Arrangements are still to be announced, but being made by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Come to Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville and get your prescriptions filled, your over-the-counter medications, and immune system boosters, all from the safety and comfort of your own vehicle, either in their drive-thru or with their new curbside service. You can also call ahead or just download the MyGNP app, that's Good Neighbor Pharmacy, and refill and manage your prescriptions right from your device, helping you and yours stay healthy and safe. Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville, 349-4400. All Pro understands that we are all just trying to make it through these most difficult of times, and they want you to know that they're here to help with any repairs or projects that you need done. Big or small, doesn't matter. They've got 0% financing for 18 months and long-term financing if you need it. If you need anything from a new gutter to a new house or a new garage, call All Pro Gutter Works and Construction, 349-9999. Summer heat and no AC make for a miserable drive. But don't sweat it. Call Black Smoke Performance in Sagersville for inspection, diagnostics, and repair by qualified technicians with the latest technology and equipment. Don't suffer in the summer heat. Get your air conditioning fixed today at Black Smoke Performance. The seasonal shop is open, and they're still doing curbside pickup, so you can call and place orders, and they'll still bring them out to you. And inside, you'll find all new merchandise throughout the entire store, all new spring and summer women's clothing from Charlie Page and Mud Pie, accessories, jewelry, shoes, and bags too, casual outfits for everyday or special occasion outfits and dresses. And if you've been home a lot and really want to freshen up your decor, they have so much to choose from, and they're happy to give you any fresh ideas that you might need. And just in, a large selection of Simply Southern and Candleberry at Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop in downtown Sagersville. All right, up next, I've been looking forward to this one for days. LBCP is in the house tonight. laid-back country picker who moonlights under a fake name in the Lawrence County school system during the days, is with us tonight after first taking maybe not the world, but certainly a very important part of the world by storm a few years ago with Magoffin County Cadillac. That was when I first met Laidback, and we did an interview with him, still one of my very favorites, always will be. And tonight he's back with us after becoming a friend of LB now for the past several years, following him in his music. He is out with his second album. It's actually out now. You can hear about how you can get your hands on it, and a very social distance upcoming release party has been scheduled in a very unique venue, but you'll have to hurry if you want to get in on one of the remaining, I don't want to say tickets because each ticket can represent several individuals, but there are only a few spots left for what I'm sure is going to be a sold-out show, more than likely just as soon as this story is over.
The police auction Friday night. Listen, boys, I'll steer you right. Crown Vic fleet maintained. Your life will never be the same. Put the family in the back. Magoffin County Cadillac.
Laidback, how are you, my man?
Hey, Rip, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, buddy. How are you? How's COVID treating you?
Well, you know, it's got me kind of secluded here. I live out here on a little bit of a farm, and you wouldn't, like this morning, you wouldn't believe the berries I picked this morning. It's just, that's what we do these days.
That and write a little music, I understand.
Yeah, we play a little music here and keep that going. I've mowed more grass than I've ever mowed. I've torn up 3 or 4 vehicles trying to fix them. So, you know, it's just living the COVID dream here.
Man, how you been? You know, it's been I had your interview that we did a few years ago. Now was one of my favorites. It still remains that way. And you and I have been a little close since then, and I've been following you until the COVID thing hit. You guys have been keeping the ground hot, man, playing around a big area.
You know, yeah, and Red, I want to thank you for that, because when I first wrote that song and put it on a CD, you were the very first person to contact me and say, hey, what are you talking about here? And honestly, I wasn't really prepared for it, and I hadn't done a whole lot of interviews and whatnot, and the first time I ever did it was with you on your show, and I'll always be appreciative of that. You kind of broke me into the mainstream.
Well, you're my first and last. How's that?
I'm not class. Good.
Good, man. Glad to hear. So listen, you've got another album coming out. I mean, it's ready to roll. There's not a good time for really about anything in this world. So I'm assuming you're like a lot of other folks, you know, a little hesitant to put it out and maybe not. But good news is you're getting ready to lay it on us, right?
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. I recorded this record in Nashville, Tennessee, at a studio called The Butcher Shop, and it was owned by John Prine, and I think Sturgill Simpson had ownership in it, and a guy named Dave Ferguson, who produced a lot of Johnny Cash. And we went down about this time last year and recorded the thing, and then I came back, and, you know, I got this day job that kind of eats into my time a little bit, and I kept putting things off, because when you do a record, there's a lot of T's to cross, and you just got to do a lot of stuff that's just business oriented, and I didn't really get it done. So I wanted to have it out by New Year's, and I didn't get it done, and I was still trying to get things finished. And then the COVID hit, and I had lots of free time, so I took care of all the business side of it. So then I'm sitting on it going, do I put this thing out now? Because it's a weird time. You can't really tour behind it or anything. But just the boredom won out, and I said, yeah, I'm going to put it out because I want people to hear it. So we decided to let it go. I started a pre-sale for it yesterday. So you can pre-order the record now, and we're going to have a big CD release party coming up in August. I'll talk about in a second. But, yeah, we're throwing it out there.
So give me, we obviously know some inspiration for the last album, at least one track off of it. Tell me a little bit about this one.
Well, on this record, it's always hard to write. Everybody says your sophomore record's hard to write because you spend your whole life doing the first one, and that's true. So this second one is just a lot about me talking about things. You know, there's a song called Kingsport, which is the name of the record, and we're talking about playing music in Kingsport and then hitting the road and going other places. You know, I wrote a song. I was raised up in the country, and there's a lot of songs about just growing up in the country life. And in Appalachia, there's a couple of songs on there, about how people in this area in the 50s and 60s would leave town and go to Columbus and get jobs, or up to Detroit and build cars and leave Appalachia behind. And I touched on that a little bit. So it's stuff that people from around here will probably understand.
Sounds like we're all going to relate to it on some level.
I hope so. It's weird when you write songs because you write for yourself and then you wonder how it's going to affect other people too. So I'm just going to throw them out there and see what happens.
Well, we're anxious to get it. And so you got a pre-sale going on. We can get our hands on that now. Is that right?
You can if you go to my website. I actually got an official website now. I used to.
Woo!
Yeah, we stepped up in the world. So my website is laidbackcountrypicker.org. That's O-R-G. I did one.com. I think I'm better than that. So I'm laidbackcountrypicker.org. And if you follow the links, the merch tab, if you're fluent on the internet, you can find how to pre-order. It's all on there. Yeah, I'm super proud of this record, Red. It's got Shady Boggs, who is sort of my manager and producer, he had some big ties down in Nashville, and he's got some heavy hitters on there. JT Cure is playing bass on it, and you may know JT. He's from Paintsville, and he plays bass for Chris Stapleton.
Wow. Yeah.
And then some of Tyler Childers' band is on there, and a guy named Russ Paul play guitar, and he's on every record coming out of Nashville now. So these are heavy hitters.
I can recall back when we did sat down and did that interview, and soon thereafter, you were tossing around some names at the time, said, "Hey, y'all watch out, and Tyler Childers was one of several of them that you were mentioning, man. I mean, we've seen a lot come out of this little part of Eastern Kentucky here in the last few years.
Oh man, there's so much good talent. I memean, you talk about Tyler and Stapleton and Sturgill. I mean, you see what they're accomplishing, but there's all these people just right underneath that. People like Sean Whiting that are just killing it. You got a boy there in Sayersville, Eddie Jenkins, who's a mighty fine musician, writing a lot of music and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's just on Beck and the Starlight Review. If I start naming names, I can't talk. There's tons of good musical talent right here in Eastern Kentucky.
I agree. All right, so release party. We all could use a good party. I hope we're able to. What do you got in mind? Lay it on us.
That was one of the problems we had if we were going to put a CD out. We got to be responsible, and I don't expect a bunch of people to get in a room together right now because that's not good at all. And I've got a friend in Mount Sterling who has a drive-in, and I'd actually played a show there before. So I contacted him through my buddy John Bailey, who does a lot of car shows, and we all got in a pile together and talked about it. He said, "Well, sure, we'll do it right here at the theater." And the way it works now, he's allowed to run 50% capacity. So normally he can hold 300 cars. Now he can do 150. So it all works out great. We're charging by the carload. So for $20, you can bring a carload of people to this concert. It'll be on August 14th at the drive-in. It's called the Judy Drive-In, and it's just right off 64 in Mount Sterling. It's just a beautiful, beautiful old school drive-in, and I just think it's going to be a great evening.
Man, that sounds like a lot of fun. Most definitely. What now? I know enough to know that it's not going to take long to fill up 150 spots. Where do we get? When and where do we go to start trying to get a ticket or whatever we need to do?
Well, once again, if you go to laidbackcountrypicker.org and you go to my tour dates, there's a link that'll get you there. I think if you go to my Facebook page and click on events, there's a link. Or if you just want to Google the Judy Drive-In, there's a link to it from there. I mean, people who know how to navigate the internet won't have any trouble. If you go to my layback page, you'll find it. And I will tell you, it's half sold out right now, and it'll sell out. So if you want to come, you need to grab that ticket now.
Well, I know where I'm going as soon as we get off here. What else? Anything else we need to cover before I let you go, man?
No, I'm doing as best I can, like I guess most people are. It looks like you're still up and in business, and that's awesome. I just hope everybody's doing well and mowing the grass and putting up those shelves for the wives the way they said they would. And there's still music out there. I see a lot of my friends, people like Justin Wells and John R. Miller, I think. These are all great local legends, and they're putting out records right now. So people are still making music, and they're going to throw it out there for you, and we appreciate your support.
Well, we appreciate you, brother, and look forward to this album. I'm looking forward to having my copy here very, very, very soon. I'm not putting any pressure on you, but just saying.
I understand. I'll tell you what, man, I wouldn't be playing a lick or no one would know who I was if it wasn't for the Golfing County Cadillac, the support I got from you, and I'll never forget that.
Brother, I appreciate you. Great talking to you, laid back.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
I've got the first single from his album already in this computer. Just don't have the time to play it this evening, so look for that on tomorrow's program. Once again, thanks, LB, for joining us tonight. Glad to have you with us, and glad to see Eastern Kentucky musicians rolling right along. With that said, here's your Licking Valley RECC forecast, where storms are rolling through much of the Eastern Kentucky area, and then after that, it's back to the heat. 4 days. With that in mind, 71 degrees is where we're going to go to tonight, and that's right in the same neighborhood we're going to be in 4 days. For tonight, mostly cloudy skies and that 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Light southwest wind that could see gusts up to 15 miles per hour when we get closer to any of those pop-ups that roll through. And we could see a quarter to a half inch of rain throughout the remainder of the evening. Some will, many won't. That's just the scenario we are in. Now, we're also in store to see another hot one tomorrow. I usually don't highlight the daytime highs when they're in the 80s, but there's a reason for it for tomorrow, and that is that we have 88 degrees, which will feel much more like 95 when you factor in the humidity, and heat indices will push us up into the mid-90s. A 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms early mid-afternoon tomorrow, partly sunny skies, and again, an 88-degree day that will feel like 95, 96. Partly cloudy skies, things calm down tomorrow night, back down to the low 70s. For the weekend on Saturday, we've got a daytime high right at around 90 degrees, mostly sunny, hot again, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms mid-afternoon, say up from noon till 5 or so. Saturday night, a low of 72. Sunday, a 30% chance of showers and storms, mostly sunny and hot, back into the lower 90s for actual temperatures. Sunday night, 72 for the low, partly cloudy, a still clingy 20% chance of showers and storms. And starting off next week, still into the 90s. 92 on Monday, partly sunny and hot with a 40% chance. 90, partly sunny and hot with a 50% chance on Tuesday. We'll fall back down to the upper 80s Wednesday, maybe even Thursday with some clouds and still shower chances. It's going to wrap it up. I've got indictments on tomorrow's program. I've got another report that we've been watching and waiting for some details on now for the past several weeks. I've also got, of course, as you heard, track off Laid Back Country Picker's newest album, and much more to wrap up this week when I see you back here tomorrow night. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday.